So it's been a few months, and now in version 8.1 in DBD, Lara Croft is coming, as well as some really interesting meta shakeup changes. And most people don't know what to think about it. What's up, guys? My name is Pogesque, and I'm back for some DBD content. I'm holding my microphone today because my shock mount decided to fall apart, and I didn't want to mess with it anymore. And I wanted to bring you guys some content, so I got a new one coming, and I'm holding the mic today. But yes, I made a video about 2 months ago or so talking about why I was just not enjoying the game. DBD was just not it for me. I was not having any fun. And I've been playing games like Silent Hill since then. But now we have some changes that hopefully would bring back some of the killers that really weren't liking the meta in the way it was. And I explained a lot of the things in that video, which got very mixed results. You know, like 50% like to dislike ratio. So I understand as everybody was divided. And it was just from my perspective. It wasn't to divide anyone. I wanted people to get like thinking, you know, maybe some things were more emotionally charged in my video, but I want people to kind of show their aspect of it, like a survivor, like what's your pain point in the game. And there's a lot of good conversations that happened because of it, and lots of very angry comments, and people were upset and just like, oh, all you do is complain. And unfortunately, that's what it sounds like because people don't listen otherwise, right? You can't be nice and say, well, this game is really not that fun for a killer because nobody really cares, right? Same thing for Survivor. If you feel that way, people don't really care. Like, get good, you know, it's typical gamer mentality. Anyway, don't want to ramble on for too long. Let's just jump right into it. I'm going to throw myself in the corner here. I am on the 8.1 patch notes. This is PTB content again. Just like I talked about in my previous video, which the changes didn't end up going live. And there's also a big one that is not going to be going live that's on this list, and I'll talk about that too. But I'm thinking if they go with some of the ideas they got going on here, there should be some good changes in the future. And of course, you know, whenever you have patches that are, content that is just a survivor only, it's happened many times. There's probably been a couple killer only that I can't quite recall right now that have come out of the game. You're adding perks to one side, and again, I'm not trying to have it be one side. I'm just saying people tend to like refer to that when it comes to you know, balancing and adding content and the game becoming stale. So let's talk about it. So I haven't really looked into DBD much at all. I unfortunately missed all of the anniversary event stuff. I was out on vacations, and I just didn't get a second to really dip in. I thought about dipping in and getting some points, getting the streamers and stuff like that, the cakes or whatever they call them now, but I didn't end up doing that. So I missed that event. I wanted to come back for the event, and it looked fun, but unfortunately I missed it. So anyway, Lara Croft. You know, very iconic character when it comes to like the adventure, I wouldn't say horror, but like the adventure survival scene of gaming. And so her first perk is Finesse. This perk activates when you are healthy, so no injured. This perk will be useless if you're injured. So say you have like plague or something like that, like you're not going to see value from this unless you keep cleansing. Anyway, your fast vaults are 20% faster, and this perk goes on a cooldown for 40, 35, 30 seconds. After performing a fast vault. Now I have seen like there's a unique animation that comes with it. It's actually like Laura's typical like vaulting animation. It actually feels pretty cool. Or it looks pretty cool. I'm sure it'll feel pretty nice too. But not only does it have one criteria, but two criterias. So even somebody who enjoys playing killer more often, I think maybe that's a little bit too much. I think you could maybe have it not like maybe it doesn't cool down if you're in chase or something, if you wanted to balance it, but I think everybody could benefit from this. I guess the reason why they don't is because there's perks already that make vaulting faster when injured. But I mean, I feel like this is, since it's a situational thing, it'll happen one time, and you have to be healthy, you know, maybe to have it not cool down during chase, but you can do it healthy or injured. That's just my thought. Let me know what you think. I haven't seen it in action. This is not even live yet as of the making of this video, July 9th. Second perk is Hardened. After you unlock a chest and cleanse or bless a totem, this perk activates. So very interesting. Two criteria there. Again, anytime you would scream, reveal the killer's aura for 3, 4, 5 seconds instead. Now, is this activated forever, like for the rest of the game, or is this deactivate immediately? It doesn't say if it does. They don't really explain a lot of this when they do their patch notes. I'm sure the full version would say, and then it deactivates, right? So if it's active forever, then I guess it's warranted, but I feel like that's very strange. It's a very strong thing to have active forever, but it would be hard to say. complete counter to Doc or anybody who relies on, the scream things. I can't remember if Ultimate Weapon still has the scream thing. They changed it a couple times, and I haven't been on for a couple months, so I don't know. But you could, if it's on forever, you could do some serious counters. Last one, Specialist. Every time you open or rummage through a chest, gain 1 token up to 333. I don't really know why there's even a variance there. Up to 3. When you do a great skill check on a generator, consume all tokens, and then for each token consumed, reduce the maximum generator required progress for 2, 3, 4. Oh, so you can remove up to 12 charges at once. And it doesn't say this perk ever expires. It doesn't say a gen can get capped on the amount of progress required. This could go crazy. You could see a lot of Survive with Friends getting this perk, and they just spend a lot of time in the start of the game hiding and opening and rummaging through chests, because you could use, what's that one perk LED has? It lets you rummage through 3 chests, different chests too. This could go crazy. You could see a lot of gens going quickly after a slow start, which is actually a counter to Corrupt Intervention. If I'm thinking of the right perk, excuse me, it's the Plague perk that blocks gens. You could totally counter this perk, and they could be so much stronger. And if they're hiding well, you're not going to find them. So, interesting. I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know if I'm going to be seeing it in my game. So I plan on coming back to the game relatively soon. I'm thinking tomorrow. I started in my new job. I forgot to mention, I started my new job. And I'll be back to streaming tomorrow, just at a later schedule. Now, here are some perk changes. This is all pretty new to me, so I knew about Lara Croft, but not some of these changes. Darkness Revealed. Increase the duration of aura reveal to 6, 7, 8 seconds. Was 3, 4, 5. That's actually pretty huge. That's double early, and then which you can expect everybody to have purple in your games if you've been playing for a while. That's a little over 1.6 times maybe. It's a pretty big increase as far as that goes. That's pretty nice. I think that's that locker perk as well, so that's not bad. I think they did a general cooldown change for a lot of these, so I'll probably just go through these quickly. I'm all ears. The cooldown got 10 seconds shaved off at the end, which is really what matters. Trail of Torment got its cooldown halved. That's actually really cool. I wonder if that will stay there for that long. Now, Oppression, this is a huge one. That's the one that when you kick a gen, up to 3 other gens have a very very hard skill check, or they start regressing. At being 40 seconds. That's pretty big, because that perk's not bad. It's just it always had the problem of the cooldown being so damn long. Honestly, it was so difficult. But you can do you can kick one gen on the other side of the map and affect somebody on the opposite side. It's a very useful perk. It's just the cooldown was so dang long. But this is a big one, I think, you could see for really cool builds, is Dragon's Grip being only 40 seconds instead of 80. Whenever you have these gen kick perks, especially now that the gen kicks are limited to 12 gen kicks, maybe less than that. I think is it 12 or 8? It's been so long. Anyway, your limited kicks. So this being reduced is huge. It should have been out when that patch was out, but I understand they probably wanted to wait to see the numbers and see how the balance of everything is, so I get it. Machine learning being doubled in duration, that's pretty cool. But again, a gen has to be done. It can only happen up to 5 times. And even at the 5th time, it might not matter as much because the game might already be over. So it's hard to say. That could be cool. I don't think machine learning is good enough to take up a perk slot, but that's just me. I think Oppression's viable. Trail of Torment's more viable. But then again, you have that really cool unknown perk. I can't remember what it's called right now. Unforeseen, I believe. That one's a little bit better because it doesn't show the gen's aura. No, it doesn't. Okay, yeah, it doesn't show the gen's aura like Trail of Torment does. Now for some survivor perks, Autodidact has an initial penalty reduced to 15%, was 25. Initially, when you start getting a skill check, you would reduce the healing progress to eventually ramp it up. So that's actually pretty good. It's a good perk to get back into your repertoire. Empathic Connection, I think that's that Yoshi perk. Increases the healing to 30%. That was always a bad perk anyway. All it was good for was the aura, essentially. If you needed a tome challenge, or you needed to heal somebody, and they had to come to you, that was a good perk for it. So it's good that it got some love. It's a bad perk other than for tomes. Iron Will is back where it was, up to 100%. You're completely silent when injured, but you can't be exhausted. Yeah, you can't be exhausted. I think that's still the criteria that remains, which is fine. Honestly, it could have gone back up to full strength when that was added. So it's good to see it back. I have no problems with that. It's a trade-off, right? You can't have an exhaustion perk, slowing you down, basically. Resurgence. I don't remember what that perk is. I feel like that's that one with Jill when you get unhooked. You get like 70% healed now. But then again, you still have to either heal yourself or somebody else heals you. It can only happen twice a game. So I know there's perks like that. But that could be really good, or it could just still be super mid. I don't know. You could have made it 75% because that perk, you don't see it. Solidarity, I think that's the one where you heal somebody else as it's a Jane perk. You heal somebody else and you get part of that heal back because it says conversion rate. Again, 75%. Those perks are just not that good. I mean, let's be honest. If we're like constantly finding meta things, especially with like Gen Rush or, people, camping, tunneling, whatever, you're going to want to min-max. And as much as I want this game to be fun, people are always going to be super sweaty. You can't take that away. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're going to pick the best perks. And these perks, they're better, but they're still so circumstantial. So we'll see how they go. This was a big one. I did remember seeing this. A Babysitter, which is the Steve perk. When you unhook somebody, they get a 10% haste now for like 10 seconds or something. And then the duration of that haste was increased to 30 seconds, was 8. That is almost a 4 times increase. That perk is going to be used heavy. And I'm thinking borrowed time with that. So you're going to go absolutely crazy, super fast for a very long time. You might as well forget that person who was unhooked ever existed because they're just gone now. They have such a high speed boost. They have 120% movement speed because it'd be 10% from this, 10% from the base perk, plus borrowed time duration extension. It's going to go crazy. So Babysitter, borrowed time. See you later. I can see that being a huge tool for Swift. So I have his friends. Sorry about that. I'm actually going to mute my noise here so you don't hear any more notifications. Knight. Oh, he got a lot of changes. That's right. I'm going to try to speed up through some of this stuff. But so Knight basically is able to cycle through his guards now, which is huge. Having to rely on a rotating order was kind of annoying. No other killer really suffers from that. Let me also move my camera as well. So sorry if I was blocking anything out during the initial part of the video, but I'm over here now. Anyway, the Knight is going to have some huge changes coming. You're going to be able to select whatever guard you need as opposed to having to go through the rotation. Not sure why he stayed the way he was for so long. Maybe they thought that's how he was balanced, but I'm seeing that it wasn't the case. He was just really weak because you had to be forced to pick a certain character. But lots of little changes too, like the camera push distance when entering path creation mode. So it's like that shove effect when he leaves his body to create a path. And stuff like criteria, like you have to be at least 10 meters to spawn a guard. You can't just drop a guard at a hook, which is fine. It was not a very fun mechanic anyway. Just the guard detection to reduce the likelihood of detected through walls. That would happen all the time. They would see you even though they couldn't possibly see you. Standing near a guard will increase the hunt timer by 3 times, or increase it by 3 times consumption if you're within 8 meters. Pretty wild. So yeah, no camp or don't follow the Knight either. Don't follow the guard. What they want you to do with this, what it looks like, is that they chase and you just do something else. So you shouldn't. If you're gonna be following, you have to be at least 8 meters away. So you can't just like be running next to your guard, which I never fought a problem with anyway. Because like you want to double tap it. That was kind of the thing he got. They're taking away the double tap potential with this, which is fine. But I don't know. I'm indifferent, but it doesn't really bother me anyways. It was some boring mechanics that can go away on Knight. People don't like him for these reasons. So. And which is really cool with this now I'm seeing, I didn't realize before, is drawing a path. When drawing a path patrol, its length applies a modifier on the base total hunt time. So if your path is 26 plus meters, you can get up to 1.5 times hunt time. Now, it didn't used to mean anything when you would make a longer path. It was the increased arrival at the spotted survivor point, right? So say like you had the longest path possible and the guard saw you, it would come to where it saw you faster. Wow, like that wasn't that crazy. But now they're increasing the hunt time by up to 1.5 times if you have a long path. Now 1 to 15 doesn't matter, normal hunt duration, but it scales up the further the path you make. So you're going to be seeing some crazy stuff. Like they added a buff to him a while ago. With the longer path you make, he gets a really fast, long haste duration to catch up to where he put the guard at. Pretty cool. So they're kind of doubling down on that with some new things. They want you to basically let your guards work for you as opposed to you having to like hold their hands. So only time will tell if that does anything because the guards were still a little bit too slow to do anything about it. And And then they're basically switching the Carnifex with the Jailer. The Jailer is going to be the long hunter, while the Carnifex is going to be just, smashing stuff, as he should have been. He was a big guy running for way too long. It was kind of silly. All guards perform actions faster. The detection range has been increased for all of them. Looks like 2 meters each. Let's see. Basically just went through all of his add-ons, did some tweaks, did some reworks, because you don't have to worry about, rotating through. You get to pick which one you want. Decreases the cooldown after calling upon them, which is that little bar that would happen after the hunt was over, or after you basically disbanded a guard by hitting him. I'm guessing that's what that means anyway. I'll have to see for myself. Lots of other stuff. Increases the time it takes for the standard to spawn, which allows the survivor to make the guard go away. They got more haste, or they got haste, and then they got endurance. It didn't matter if they had if they were not borrowed time, but if they were mending anyway. But the haste would certainly help. A bunch of other changes: a buff to the blindness effect if they got spotted. Guards inflict mangled and hemorrhage with that add-on, so that's going to be more popular than it was before. I'm going to skip to the company banner, because that one's pretty cool. Also, this one's pretty cool, too. I didn't even notice this before. After giving an order to smash something, basically, the guard will remain for an extra 8 seconds, triggering a hunt should they detect a survivor. So they literally just sit there when they're done breaking something. So Carnifex, smashes a pallet, just stands there. That's pretty cool. I think that's, instead of just tweaking numbers, they need to do more stuff like this for add-ons, because just tweaking numbers for add-ons is boring. They need to start doing stuff like this, which changes how the person behaves, how the killer behaves. Iridescent Banner was a really good add-on, and they're changing it again. Drawing a patrol path through a window blocks it for all survivors for 25 seconds after the guard is summoned. Was 15, which is really good. An extra 10 seconds, no complaints. Exit gates are blocked by the entity spikes for the hunted survivor. Okay, but how long do those blocks stay after they're down? Is it 4 seconds where the killer has to instantly be able to react, or is it maybe 10 seconds where they actually can maybe hit a survivor who's blocking them at the exit gate? Because there's going to be people who do that. They're going to throw their lives, risk their lives to save a teammate that just got hunted. And all windows vaulted by the hunted survivor are blocked for all survivors for the remainder of the hunt. So that could be really good at the very start, but it's not as bad, or not as good at the end, but still, it's a free effect, no complaints. Singularity got some buffs. They basically, TLDR, I've been going on a little too long on this so far, but TLDR, they basically made him feel better to play, which is huge, because I think Singularity has been one of the worst feeling killers to play ever, because he did so much work, and you would get so little reward. So they're changing things, his wake up time. They're making it so he has help with his lock on survivors. Initially, if you were tagging someone, they would block line of sight. You would lose any progress you had on tagging them, but now it holds it for about half a second, and it starts to fall off a little bit in the middle. Aim assist. You can destroy pods remotely instead of having to shoot them with your gun. Stuff that just made sense. And I think they kind of just sat down and say, why does he feel so bad? Why is his play rate so low? Why is his win rate so low compared to other killers? What is his problem? They're doing stuff like having the iridescent add-on where you teleport and you get a 3% haste. It's now base kit for his overclock, which is really cool. I think he always was a cool killer. He just felt bad. I always played so many games back to back of Singularity, because I was you could play a game of Slinger and I would get 4Ks, 3Ks if I had my MMR reset. Basically, I'd be bagging and tagging on Slinger. But why the hell did Singularity feel so bad? And it's because he had so many pain points in his kit. I mean, you can see this is a thing I never even knew existed. Overclock duration no longer scales based on the number of slipstream survivors. What? Why? Why did his duration of his overclock? Why did they punish you for people EMPing all the time? Right? Typically, when you play Singularity, you can get 1 or 2 people at once to have slipstream on them, because they just break it so fast with the EMPs. EMPs were everywhere. So it's kind of like Freddy. The more people who are asleep, the faster your teleport comes back. But in this case, your overclock would last longer for more slipstream survivors. And it was never mentioned as part of the kit, not to my knowledge. And it just didn't matter, because nobody would be slipstreamed. You'd have one person at a time that you're chasing that's slipstreamed. But now it's of the base of 5 seconds. So I'm guessing it was 0.25 per survivor, which honestly didn't mean anything anyway, but this is guaranteed now, so that's going to feel really good. And after exiting a pod, the aura of the last pod used is displayed for 10 seconds was 5. So these are just some things that they don't explain a whole lot. I feel like they could really get into explaining the character. The wiki does it, and it's like people in the community who do these things for free because they love the game. Like, they don't explain this stuff. Like, people reading this, like, I played Singularity for probably at least like 50 matches, and I can guarantee you some of this stuff I never even knew was part of his kit, because it just didn't matter, right? I guess, and that maybe that's the point, but I feel like you'd want to work that towards that, if that makes sense. And of course, ultrasonic sensor, which would give you the ability to hear sound after a delay. That's base kit. Why wasn't it base kit? Why did you have to have an add-on that would make you hear sounds through a freaking camera, you know? It's just crazy. And the EMP range effect has been increased, but they're not as invincible to slipstream after they use it. And also, EMPs no longer fully print themselves. They have to do the little interaction for the last 3% to get it, which is honestly really cool, because a lot of the times the EMP boxes were just like a gimme, right? Like, oh, I need that, gimme. Like, oh, his power's gone. You know, it was too easy. So now they have to actually stop and work for it, and they also no longer instantly pick it up once they interact with the crate. They have to stop interacting with it, the thing rises, and then they grab it. So it's actually two nerfs for survivors, right? They have to actually finish the box, and they have to pick it up after the box is finished. So it's probably like an extra second of slowdown to when they go to a box, but they can't just like do it mid-chase. I think that would happen a lot of times. Is like mid-chase, he would be struggling, and a bit of a nerf for him here. You can get put into overheat mode, which he basically just stands there all stunned if you get Blast Mind or Head On with the overheat effect, which you're going to see Blast Mind more than Head On, because you're going to be hitting a gen with your increased kick speed, and it's just going to, you know, he's going to get stunned. So I think some good changes, some good little nerfs for him and buffs for Survivor and vice versa. I'm honestly pretty excited for that. I think the Knight will be pretty cool too. Knight's, I'm indifferent towards Knight. He's okay. He's not that fun. I think Singularity is more fun, mostly because of the struggle. Maybe I'm just like an absolute masochist, but that's just me. Map updates, they're adding 2 variants of Ormond. Oh, so it's going to be like not just the ski resort. It's going to be other maps too. Okay, let's see how that goes. Because you know how like Wrecker's Yard is one of the I'm trying to think of what it's called, but like the green maps, right? The Billy maps. I'm sorry, not Billy maps. Those are the Farms Billy maps. Those are Wraith maps. If you didn't know, the Wrecker's Yard maps with all the cars are Wraith maps. And there's probably about 3 or 4 different variations. You know, one with the gas station, one with just the cars in the yard, one with the house on the far end of the map. Like, they're all variations. So it's pretty cool. Some just always had one. Like, Ormond was always one. Now there's going to be up to 3 different Ormond maps. Pretty cool on that realm, on the Ormond realm. And then the family residence for the Yama. Did I say that wrong? Yamaoka estate. I always said Yokohama. I don't know why I said that. But anyway, they added new variations to both versions of the Yamaoka estate realm. So there's going to be up to 3 different maps in that, or sorry, 4 now, because there were 1 for Spirit and 1 for Oni. But now they're both going to have 2 variants. So it's going to be up to 4 of those maps on the Yamaoka Estate realm. So it's pretty cool. I always like that map. It's a little bit too cluttered as far as like little stone things that look at you. For someone like Billy or someone like Blight, it's just too much stuff to or Blight bounce off of, basically. Or even worse, Unknown, when he came out, God, trying to hit a bead on someone with the puke or whatever it's called, the UVX. That was why it's so hard, because it wanted to bounce off everything. Anyway. They did a gameplay pass on the Forgotten Ruins map. I never even got to play that. That was Vecna. I haven't played since before he came out. Whoops. I'll have to see how Vecna is when I come back in, by the way. And they added variations to maze tiles in the pool of tiles. Maze tiles, huh? Not really sure what that is, but Coldwind, there you go. That's the Billy maps. Added lockers to existing maze tiles. I'm not really sure what they mean by maze tiles. I have to double check into that. Is that like the hay bales or something? Anyway, right below this is a huge feature that they're currently binning, as far as I know. They were planning on adding a thing where somebody disconnected in the loading screen of a match for any reason, rage quit, bad connection, whatever, the game would continue with a bot in their place. And people were just not having it, and I absolutely agree, because why would you want to start the game with a handicap? Like, imagine you started the game and it's just killer bot, and the killer bot's constantly missing you because it's a killer bot. It's not fun. It's not engaging. Why would you want to start with a disadvantage if you're a survivor? Or why would you want to play survivor and just be bored because the killer is predictable because it's a bot? He doesn't have any, mechanics, doesn't have any, they don't hold a basic attack for 10 seconds to wait out your dead hard or your off the record. The killer bots are going to swing instantly because they don't know. They pretend to not know that because they're made to be dumb, essentially. This is also a huge change. Anyway, disconnect bots. Honestly, don't do it. Not worth it. It's a dumb idea. If the game doesn't have 5 players, don't start it. Or you could do it like you did before and make it 3 survivors, 1 killer, and 4 gems to be completed. I don't see a problem with that. Not sure why that went away. Maybe when there's 2, don't do it. But maybe if 1 person leaves, you can do it. But hey, that's just my thoughts on it. Now a huge one right here. I think should have been in the game ages ago, and I kind of went off about this in my last video. So that version of me would have been happy. But hooks broken by sacrifice will now respawn after 60 seconds, 1 minute. You will get a hook back. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. They have made so many people happy, and it's not just killers, it's also survivors. Here's why. Let me explain something. Let me go full screen for this one. So if you guys are understanding why hooks respawning is a good thing for survivors too, it's because dead zones exist. If you don't know what that means, is when a hook gets broken, somebody can no longer be hooked there. And if people keep dying in a certain corner of the map, right? You say you're 2-3 people have died in a certain corner of the map, and say you're on the Silent Hill map, right? The school. The hooks are very far and few between because of how the logic calculates the hook placement, right? If there's a hook upstairs and there's a hook not that far away downstairs, the game says, oh, there's a hook really close by, you can get to it. But meanwhile, there's so many walls in between you upstairs getting to the downstairs hook, you can't actually reach it. There's a vault point, but you can't walk with somebody over your shoulder to get to it. It's physically impossible to hook somebody. That is a dead zone, and you've only killed 1 person on that upstairs hook, we'll say. For an example, really bad idea, really bad design, and now somebody either wiggles off or you have to slug them for 4 minutes so they die to guarantee the kill. So you either give up or you actually get a kill, but it's boring, or anything in between happens, right? Teammates come to save them, blah, blah, blah. People hate you, curse you out in the in-game lobby. They're so mad. Raw, I hate slugging. Slugging, I think, tunneling might be okay. Camping's boring, but tunneling I think is okay. But slugging by far is the worst thing you could do in this game. It is so boring. You're basically saying, I'm unplugging your controller for 4 minutes straight, and if you leave, you get punished. And if you stay, you're bored to tears. You might as well not even play the game, right? That's just my opinion. Slugging is a stupid idea, and it should never even exist. But there needs to be stuff to fix before they just say, "Oh, no more slugging." Like you can't just get rid of it. Temporary slugging, 20 seconds. It is what it is. 4 minutes? No, absolutely not. Because sometimes if you have to knock somebody down and then knock another person down, that happens. But slugging for a long time is silly. So they have to really be careful what they do to address slugging, short term, I'll say, because it's needed, right? You have to kind of balance your objectives for the short term. But anyway, let's go back to it. If a hook comes back in 60 seconds and say that person got killed in that map, right? In Silent Hill map. That hook will be back in a minute. So if somebody else runs upstairs, gets downed, voila, they can be hooked, and life goes on. Why does the game have to be basically over for the killer or that survivor who just got downed? Just because one hook broke. One hook. Just from a sacrifice. It's an outdated mechanic. It needed to go. They've been so many buffs to both sides, so many different gameplay style changes. It's a relic of the past, and it needed to be let go. So long. I hope that stays. People should not wish this to be gone because they would be absolutely silly. Could there be possible modifiers to it that survivors could bring, an offering, right? Delaying the respawn of hooks by 5 seconds for a yellow, and maybe a purple or an iridescent is 10 seconds and it stacks or something like that. I could see that being a meta offering, maybe not 10 seconds, but who knows, right? It's just an idea that they could delay that. But I think 60 seconds is a good start, right? Because it's not going to be instant. You're going to have a whole minute that you can get something done, and you cannot be hooked there. Breakdown, think about it. There's a perk in the game right now. It's a Jeff perk. Breakdown, 3 minutes. the hook is down. 3 minutes if they get unhooked. That is 3 times the length of this. And I almost guarantee you that will never, like, that hook is basically dead, essentially. If like 4 gens done and somebody uses breakdown on that hook, the hook is dead. Like, it's not going to matter. That hook is done for. So you can still get away with some really tactical hook breaks. And they did that patch, what was it, last patch or the one before that, which I was warning everyone about, where they were breaking hooks better with toolboxes. They were seeing this coming, and that's why they did it. Because they know that you have the tools now to keep that hook broken, so they can finally take away, natural circumstance sacrifice hook breakdowns. Pretty big deal, and I think that people should appreciate that, whether they think it's like BS or whatever. It's not. I guarantee you. You're going to be thankful when you can get hooked again instead of being slugged for 4 minutes straight. If someone's an asshole, then they're an asshole. That's not going to fix that problem. But it's going to fix the problem of somebody like me who's like, damn, I don't have anywhere to hook anybody, and then I have to let somebody be slugged, because, just let them go. And it's just like saying, like, oh, you beat somebody in a soccer game. Let me kick the ball into my goal a couple times, and then they can win. Like, why? Like, you earn the win. It's a competitive game, and it doesn't have to be super sweaty, but it's still competitive at the end of the day. Competitive doesn't necessarily mean, ranked or something like that. Competitive just means like, hey, I want to win against you. Hey, man, I want to win against you, and you have fun. So ultimately, at the end of the day, that's the goal. Just a couple like tweaks to the UX and stuff like that. Some audio fixes, bot improvements, probably some visual bugs. A lot of like. They changed some character stuff too. Chucky, his hidey-ho cooldown begins at the end of the attack as opposed to the beginning. I actually didn't know that. Okay, that's a nerf, but oh well. And it's a lot of other fixes and stuff too. But anyway, this has been quite a long video so far, half an hour apparently. Holy crap. But hopefully you guys are able to understand some of the stuff I was talking about with the sacrifice hook respawn. It's so good, it's so important, and a lot of other stuff too that's going to be pretty cool coming down the pipeline, especially the Singularity changes and some overall killer and survivor buffs. I still would like to see more perks that are just unused to be absolutely reworked into a glorious bastard that it could be. But they're still kind of just tweaking some of these more close to meta or meta perks, and it's a bit strange. I still keep saying this, but the perk premonition exists, and you know what it does? It gives you an audio cue that the killer is within 32 meters and you're looking at them, and it goes on cooldown for like 30 seconds. Why is this a perk in modern DBD? It's crazy. Why is that a perk in modern DBD? Why is that not changed to something way better than that? Or why is it not like something completely different? I don't know. Make it because it's a free perk. Maybe take away premonition. Put something else there. I feel like they kind of just keep like cycling over the same ideas. There's so many things they could do. I can't exactly think of something to replace it with right now, but that's the fun of a video game, You sit down, you think of really cool ideas. They have really cool IPs, right? Like the Halloween, they got Freddy, they got Texas Chainsaw. They have so much stuff they could do. Alien, and like they just do a lot of the same like gameplay loops over and over again. So I'm excited to see what they can bring. Some good, promising changes. I'll be back with DBD very soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Give it a like, give it a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I really appreciate you watching. I hope to get this up the same night of recording. I've missed you guys. I know I haven't uploaded a whole lot of content, especially with Silent Hill streams. It's a lot of the highlights as opposed to, short games like DBD was. But I don't know if I'll be able to stream tomorrow. We'll see if I can fix my mic. I've been holding it. Hopefully the audio quality has been good and not absolutely terrible. I'm like balancing it myself by moving it closer and further away. And I apologize about the fan. I need it. It's honestly getting hot in here because I've had the fan on low. It was a 96-degree day. I need this fan, y'all. So AC, I guess. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.